Hi, I'm Scott.
And I'm Michele, and we are the owners of the Main Street Mouse.
And this is the Main Street Mouse Weekly Podcast, show number 185 for May 5th, 2025.
For your safety, remain seated with the doors closed, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside while the tram is moving. And supervise your children.
Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion.
'Cause this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
Soar into tower. We are ready for takeoff.
Dead men tell no tale.
I know not who you are, nor how I came to find you. But may I just say,
Come on, everybody. Here we go.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, happy Monday and happy Cinco de Mayo.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Did you have a margarita today? If not, you still have time.
I did not have one.
I know you didn't.
I did have nachos.
You did. I had margarita.
So that should count for something, though, having some nachos.
It's so funny. And do you realize how bad that always sounds? Like, because you eat all the food and I drink. But it's like, I don't drink a lot.
I am the fat one, so that explains why.
But I don't drink a lot. It just every time, when we talk about like food reviews or whatever, I always have to.
You talk about what the drink was.
I do.
My Diet Coke was an excellent year today.
Oh my gosh, Diet Coke sounds good. Anyway, so I hope you guys are all doing well. Here we are, another week. Another fresh round of fun, I guess.
Lucky you. Are we gonna try not to talk about food all this show this time?
Okay, so I had some input from last week's show, you guys, and I have to apologize because I was told from a few different people that we made you guys hungry last week because we just kept talking about food.
See, we need we need to get like DoorDash on as a sponsor because then we'll talk about food and then people are gonna want food. So by the time they listen to the show, it's going to be late in the evening. They might order food.
But we do have a little bit of food chat this time, too.
We do have a little bit of food chat about really good food.
But not like the whole time. And I don't even know why we just kept talking about food last week.
Because we were starving when we started recording.
I know.
It's kind of like when you never go to the grocery store when you're hungry. You don't ever record a podcast about food when you're hungry.
See, I am so not hungry right now, so it should be better.
Should be better. So the last week, we really didn't do a whole lot. Kind of really.
He's been saying that a lot lately, hasn't he? He's like,
we
haven't done a whole lot.
Have we done a lot?
No, because we're gearing up for a whole bunch of stuff.
And we had orders and such that we had to do last
yes.
week, so we're kind of busy with all that.
So, yeah. So, in addition to all our Main Street Mouse stuff, we have to do Lost Princess apparel stuff, and that also factors in. And then plus, like, you weren't feeling great last week.
Well, and then we just have general life stuff that gets in the way of.
Yeah, that whole life thing gets in the way.
Yeah.
And then, and I'm hoping. So our younger son, Aiden, has had a fever yesterday. And, we're trying to get him better. And I worry with my immune system. I don't want it to hit me because we are traveling next week.
Yeah, you need to stay away from. You keep getting close to him to touch and see if he got fever.
He sits by me so Mama can make him feel better.
He might be sick for 2 days, but 2 days for him is like 12 for you. So you need to stay away because we leave in less than 12. Actually, we leave in like 7 days.
I'm so nervous.
8 days, whatever. We leave on the 13th really early.
Really early. So we are going to Disneyland next week to cover the 70th anniversary of Disneyland.
Can't wait. It's going to be so much fun.
Cannot wait. But yeah, so Scott had said something to me actually over the weekend a couple times, like, we get to check in such and such a date. And my stomach literally flips.
Because every time I open the Delta app, because that's what we're flying, it says 5 days till check-in, or whatever. I think today is 6 days till check-in. Starting today. So I'm going to start giving you the countdown every day.
No, because then my stomach flips every time.
But it's exciting.
Is it though? I mean, I'm excited.
I cannot wait.
I know. I'm excited. Don't get me wrong. I'll be excited once we touch down safely in Los Angeles.
And I can't wait to stay at the Disneyland Hotel.
Oh, I know. See, once I get there, I'll be fine.
Right.
It's all the anticipation that is so like aggravating because like it robs me of my joy. It steals my magic because like my fear is so bad and so stupid. But, I mean, I'll be fine. And please let me just say, I am so grateful to the Walt Disney Company for having us out. It has nothing to do with not appreciation. It's called irrational fear of flying.
She is genuinely scared to fly, no matter what. She is always, since we've been together, you've always been scared to fly.
I've been scared to fly
since
my whole life.
Yeah, I was going to say, since the flight went down in Detroit, the Northwest flight.
Years when I was little.
Because we could actually, from the area we lived in, we could see the smoke and you could smell the
jet fuel, yeah.
burning. And that's just, so for you, that's always been a genuine fear. I flew 3 or 4 days after that happened at Detroit. So I kind of had to get over my fear quickly.
It's weird how, like, I can't remember what I ate last week.
Right.
But, you know, they say that sometimes when you're a child, when you're young, like, there's certain things that you pick out in your life that stick out,
right.
I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Like, okay, let's do happy for a minute. When I was 6 and my parents took me to Magic Kingdom, there's things that I remember about that. I remember being scared of the Mr. Toad ride. I remember loving 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I remember, you know, my dad carrying me on his shoulders going over to the castle. I mean, there's great memories, right? Right. Well, also when I was very young, you know, that whole, I guess because that you know, tragedy was such a big deal, and where we live, we weren't that far away from Detroit Metro Airport, and it's just one of those things that stuck out. But and I understand, you know, odds and all that stuff. It's just, I'm sure you guys all have something that is a trigger, like is scary. You know, everybody has something.
Right, everybody has a fear of something. For instance, after 9/11, I flew like 2 weeks after that.
Yeah, there's no way. I was like done. Like you with your fear, you're afraid of snakes.
I'm deathly afraid of snakes.
See, I'm afraid of airplanes.
If it's a gardener snake, I am afraid. When I see a small snake, what do? I say kill it.
And I say no.
You're like, no. I'm like, no, because little snakes become big snakes.
And we never, by the way, we don't kill anything because I am the biggest, like, animal person. Like, if I could have animals clean a house, I would.
I do kill ants if they get in our house.
Well, you know, those little sugar ants, they have it coming.
They drive me nuts.
In Florida, it's really bad to get those little ants in the house when the weather starts to get hot, and it has gotten pretty hot here.
It did, and but we do have the right stuff that works to get them out of our house. So far, so good.
And speaking of heat, I know I'm derailing your show already.
You're fine.
The other night, we were home, obviously. It was Friday night, and I was scrolling online like I do, and it was all this hullabaloo about Disney smelling like fire.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I'm like, what do you mean it smells like fire? So we're like 10 minutes from property.
And it wasn't Disney was on fire.
No, Disney was not on fire. So I went outside in front of the house, and I'm like, oh, holy cannoli. There was a brush fire or something in the area that was not at Disney.
No, but the wind was blowing it to where it seemed like it was coming from that direction.
And like our whole area and the surrounding areas, not just, it went way past us, like, right. You know, it smelled like smoke.
Yeah, I mean, and just for those who don't understand, when we say we're 10 minutes from property, we are like 3 minutes away from Flamingo Crossing, which is the new Crossroads area, essentially, where a lot of the cast members in that live. Right.
And like we hear Magic Kingdom fireworks every night at 9:00.
You can see the Epcot ones.
Yes. Or you can actually see Happily Ever After if you go look out our bathroom window upstairs.
Yes.
There's a little tiny, you can't see everything, but like between the houses you can see a little bit. Cool. So we are very close to Disney, and people were panicking, and I was like, yeah, it does smell. But then the next day you could still kind of smell the smoke in the air, but it was like nothing for anybody to panic about. But no. I read everything. I had to go out and smell for myself, and lo and behold, it smelled terrible.
And what's funny is that night I had gone out before you had gone out there to smell it. And I had known about it already, and I had gotten an alert on my phone from Ring, because when the Ring alarm goes off, it's like, does anybody else smell smoke in the area, or where's it coming from? So I already knew what was going on, but I wasn't going to tell you because I know you get alarmed sometimes, so I didn't want to tell you and alarm you. Yeah, I
wasn't alarmed. I just wanted to go check it out.
I know.
And then I had Aiden come outside and smell too.
And he's the alarmist.
He's the alarmist.
So Wednesday last week, we were invited by Greg and Holly to attend the Thunderbolts D23 screening at Disney Springs.
We were.
And so, being a Marvel movie, this was one I was actually really looking forward to.
And I was humoring you.
And you were humoring me. And we went to the film. And actually, you liked it a lot.
Yeah. So get this. Yes, I was humoring him. It was his birthday last Saturday. Happy belated.
Thank you.
So Greg and Holly got tickets for the show because it's free to go through D23 if you can get the tickets.
Member,
yeah. So, I mean, I was going to see it regardless because it was your birthday week and whatever.
Yeah, we would have paid to see it on Thursday.
So, lo and behold, I really liked this movie.
And I've never seen you like that with a Marvel movie that did not have Loki in it.
Okay, so it did not have Tom Hiddleston in it. However, I did really enjoy the story. And so here's the thing, you guys. Marvel, I just like Star Wars. All right, follow me for a second.
Oh boy.
You have to, there's certain things you kind of have to know, right? And there I had questions in the movie.
You did.
Because I'm like, what does that mean and who's that? Like I didn't know. So Elaine from Seinfeld is in the movie. So I didn't know if Elaine was good Elaine or bad Elaine.
Right.
And then come to find out she wasn't a good person. But and her name was not Elaine. So yeah, it just I had some questions. But all in all, I mean, some movies, like I think Star Wars is worse than Marvel about watching a movie and you have to have context or you can't catch on.
I will fully agree with that because with Star Wars, everything is connected, and it's connected to the point of everybody's fighting against these people.
Yeah.
You know, the good guys are fighting the bad guys, and it's all the same bad guys. It's all the same good guys.
Yeah.
Just different battles going on. Where Marvel, there's so many characters.
Yeah.
And there's so many. Are they good? Are they bad? They look like they're a bad guy, but they're really a good guy. So it's really, you really have to figure it. Because like the Punisher, if you see the Punisher on anything, you would think this guy's bad because he just wants to destroy people. And he's not really a bad guy. He's trying to clean up the villains. He's trying to get rid of the people who are bad, but he could be labeled as a bad guy. I don't think he's a bad guy. I like him.
Yeah.
He's Shane from The Walking Dead.
Oh, see, I didn't know who that was, but I know who Shane from The Walking Dead is, just like I know Elaine from Seinfeld.
Exactly.
See, you just gotta, it's context.
Yes. So Elaine plays Valentina, Allegra how do you say it? De Fontaine.
Yes.
That's how it's said.
Or Elaine.
Or Elaine from Seinfeld. Now the only thing is she doesn't do the little kick stance she does.
No, she doesn't
Seinfeld.
dance, and she doesn't ask for the big salad.
No big salad. But you do find out she's been in a few things. You saw her at the end of Black Widow, the movie. You've seen her. I believe she was in the Falcon and Winter Soldier, a part of that. I'm trying to remember if she was in the Inhumans. She's been in a few things here and there. She's popped up, and
she has a bigger presence in this movie.
This is finally the movie where she's in the movie from beginning to end.
Yeah, and she's got less than honorable intentions.
Yeah, and and in this current state, she's the director of the CIA.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. But being that I didn't really know much about it, I still like the movie. I thought, so I wrote a review, and if you read the review, there was like minimal spoilers in there. But what I did say in the review was I liked it because it was a mixed bag of things. Because you had humor,
right?
You had serious things, you had some darker, deeper things.
Oh yeah.
It was like any emotion that you could possibly muster up, like it was there. But I think that the humor of it made it, like, you know how some of the subject matter was kind of dark, but the humor kind of pulled people back out to where,
it did.
You know what I mean?
You didn't go down that dark hallway of just going deeper and deeper and deeper.
Much.
And the humor in this movie, I would have to put up there with some of the top humor of any of the Marvel films.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
A lot of people like Ragnarok. They think that one.
Ragnarok was like joke after
funny.
joke, though.
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Any of the ones with Paul Rudd playing Ant-Man, those
Paul
ones
Rudd
are
is
funny. But this one, just so much funny. There's just so many funny things that are said, and the way the characters play off each other is perfect. That part I loved about the movie. That there was a lot of parts I did not like about this movie. And I'm not going to say that because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. And if you're a Marvel fan, go see the movie, judge it for yourself. We're all entitled to have our opinion. I just don't feel it fits into my MCU But since the Infinity Saga ended, I've really had a problem with Marvel.
I know you did. And so, unlike your opinion, a lot of people online, because I read,
I know,
are pleased with this movie, and they think it's something that Marvel needed something that people would be like, hey, this is pretty good, or hey, this is not bad, because they have had like a losing streak.
And one thing I will say about this movie, because of the undertones of the movie, it pulls a lot of people in no matter where you're at. If you're a Marvel fan or not fan, a lot of the stuff that happens in this movie, every single person on this earth goes through some of the stuff.
Maybe not
to
the same degree,
but you have times where your life is down and out. You have times where you're sad. You have times where you feel alone, and this movie talks about all that.
Yeah. So, I guess, if you guys follow me or read anything I do or listen to my podcast on Thursday, I'm very open about mental health.
Right.
And I'm not ashamed to say that I struggle with depression and anxiety. I've been diagnosed for years, and I live with it.
Right.
As somebody who lives this way and struggles, it was kind of, I don't want to say nice, because maybe not nice, but you felt seen, because these characters were
not hiding it.
Yes, these characters were talking about, looking back in their past is a lot. I don't want to spoil it, but a lot of each character had something back to look back on, and something either bad happened with them, something that they're not proud of, like just bad stuff in your past, and basically how it can ruin you, or you can find people to help get you out of it.
Right. So it's not a spoiler at all. If you know anything about the Thunderbolts, this is the group of the misfits who have always been, at some point in their Marvel existence, they were bad. They were part of the villains. They killed, they did things that were evil. They just weren't great people. And they're all kind of past that. They don't want to be these evil people anymore.
They don't want to do that.
They don't want to do that. And I was talking to somebody else about this the other day, and I mentioned DC had the Suicide Squad, which was all their bad guys all coming together to fight for good. That's kind of what this was too. The Thunderbolts are kind of that same group. They're the ones who, before, they were fought in other movies and they are people battling against them. But now in this movie, they're coming together for good to help stop somebody who's even worse than they are.
Yeah, it was very interesting. So, in my opinion, I liked the movie. I thought the humor was good. I thought the deeper meaning was good. It was just over 2 hours, but for a change, I was not bored. I was not antsy waiting for it to end. When it ended, I was almost disappointed.
The movie went really quick.
It was so fast.
It was. I think it was only just over 2 hours. It wasn't
2
like
hours
the normal.
and 6 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't like the
something.
2.5, almost 3 hour typical Marvel movie. There is two end scenes, or there's a mid credit scene and an end scene. So make sure you stick around for both credits. The second one I liked better than the first one.
Oh my God! So people are starting to get up, and Scott almost melting. So what is wrong with you people? Everybody knows you don't get up from a Marvel movie ever.
And the best part of this is we're at a D23. These are all Disney.
These are Disney fans.
This isn't just somebody wandered into the theater and has never seen a Marvel. These are people who
should know better.
Should know somewhat
Shame
better.
on you.
So I was just shocked, and I'm sitting there going, "Sit down! What are you?
Sit down! What are you doing?"
So nobody around me would get up because I think they heard me kind of snapping a little bit.
Well, because even if you go see a Marvel movie, you can kind of find out online if there's one or two scenes or whatever, like without spoiling it.
Yes.
But yeah, when people started to leave, I thought Scott was going to have a major meltdown. It was close there for a minute.
It was just, come on, people, just wait till it's over. If anything, enjoy the credits, see what it has to say, because you never know what surprises might pop up.
Yeah. So a couple of things, just random things. All right. So thing number one.
The Thing is in Fantastic Four.
Right, wrong. Yeah, wrong thing. Whatever. Okay. So the guy who plays Bob, all right?
AKA Sentry.
Yeah. All right. I'm one of those people, if I watch a documentary, if I watch a movie, and I don't know who these people are, I got to go look to see, have I seen them in something else?
Right.
So Bob's face was so familiar, and Holly's sitting next to me, and she's like, it is driving me crazy.
And we couldn't have our phones out because during these things, they're like, don't pull your phones out.
Right. So and then when the credits started rolling, the name for him was Lewis Pullman, and she almost jumped out of her seat. That's it. I'm like, what's it? Bill Pullman's son.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Bill Pullman, as you may know, was Lone Star in Spaceballs.
Greatest role ever.
Greatest role ever. He was the president in Independence Day. He was in While You Were Sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
He was in...
A whole bunch of... He's done a lot.
He's done a lot. And he's done, like, recent movies also. He did, like, the made-for-TV about the Murdaugh trial.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He played Alec Murdaugh.
Yeah, he did.
So, So I love Bill Pullman. And his son has his face. You just can't get around it.
No, you look at some people, you go, that's so-and-so's child. You can obviously tell. This one, there is no doubt about it.
He couldn't deny that boy if he tried.
No, there is no.
But it was kind of cool. So then when afterwards, I looked it up and there was pictures of him next to his dad. I'm like, yep, same face.
Same face.
And then the second thing was, okay, so they have souvenir popcorn buckets out in the lobby. All right.
Want that one so bad.
So one of them was a limousine. Okay, and I wouldn't call that a popcorn bucket because it was like a big toy and it was metal.
Yes.
So, and I know that you love your collectible things.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys, this popcorn quote unquote bucket was $50. They are out of their minds. And the thing is, I saw some people walk out with it.
Well, I asked them when we got to the restaurant, I'm like, how much is it? Because I just wanted to know. And $49.99. They're like, but with that, you get the purchase of the large popcorn bucket, which is like $12.
Ooh, thanks. But
so if you're going to buy the popcorn bucket, now the car is only $38.
Okay, I don't care your justification. It's still a lot of money for that.
Obviously, I don't have it. It's not on my shelf.
Right.
However, if anybody would like to buy it and send me a gift, I'll give you my address.
Yeah.
I loved it. I think it's cool, and it's metal, if I'm not mistaken. Because
it is metal because I saw the lady behind the counter pull it down, and I heard like it made like metal noise.
Because like the top of it opens, and you can put like the bag of popcorn, not the bucket, but the bag.
Yeah, it was not really hold much. So basically, here's your bucket of popcorn, and here's this limousine.
Yeah.
And they had a helmet one too.
There was a helmet at different theater. I'm not sure which one it was, but it was
Disney
Red
Springs.
Guardians.
Yes,
because it's Red Guardians limo.
Yes, I knew that.
And it's also his helmet at different places.
Yeah. So I mean, you can really spend a lot of money going to this movie if you want to.
Oh, easily.
If you want all the souvenirs.
And I think they even had the metal circular bucket that's like just a popcorn
They
bucket.
did.
So.
They had like a tin bucket.
Yeah.
Didn't you used to get one of those?
I have
years
all
ago?
those for a lot of the Avenger films, and I've got a couple of them from Star Wars, I believe, from different ones they did.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that you know when it's getting so expensive to buy souvenirs anymore.
Popcorn buckets are costing more than they should.
My God, yeah. And like yesterday, did you have May the 4th on your list to talk about or no?
I did not.
Okay, well we're gonna talk about it for a second.
Okay, so are we done with Thunderbolts?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So go see it. Elaine, Bill Pullman's son, expensive toys. All right. Oh, and you might get all caught in your feelings. All right, so let's talk about popcorn buckets for a minute.
Okay.
So yesterday,
and I can still say I have not seen what they look like for May the 4th. I have not looked.
You know we report on this stuff, right?
I know we do, but I don't care enough about popcorn buckets to go look at them.
All right, well, anyway. Yesterday, May the 4th, Hollywood Studios was the place to be, evidently.
Obviously, we couldn't get a reservation.
Yeah, we couldn't get a reservation. And it was pouring rain all morning. So we're like, no, we're not going. Because we could have gone to another park, checked in, and then went over there. But it's just not worth the hassle. So from what I heard, okay, you could get a virtual queue for popcorn buckets, sippers, whatever. But the waiting time was very long. So they had like the Death Star popcorn bucket, which I personally thought was really cool. They had a Jawa sipper, which was really cute. I'm not sure what other buckets they had, but yeah, from what I understand, it was like terrible in the morning. But then last night, fun fact, so you got all the FOMO people that got to be there first thing in the morning, get the bucket, stand in line, whatever. Even it was pouring down rain.
Right.
Well, I saw a post last night. Somebody was going to see Fantasmic, I want to say. And the popcorn The popcorn cart out by Fantasmic had all the buckets
Oh,
right out in the open.
Funny.
So all these people that stood and waited hours for a virtual queue for their time to come back, whatever, they had them at the popcorn cart.
That's hilarious.
But there's been many times, years, ago, where if you didn't get in line or you didn't get there early to get something, it was gone.
Right.
But I don't know if Disney is finally getting it as far as supply and demand. Because, if you don't have a lot in stock or whatever, yeah, it's still a collectible.
Right.
But you have the shoppers, the eBayers that come in and buy it all up, and then regular fans are out of luck because there's nothing left.
Right.
But apparently, and I've seen this a couple of times with different, like at the holidays and things, it seems like they're getting more stock in.
Well, and I don't see why they don't, because people are going to buy it. I mean, I wonder somewhat that people maybe aren't buying as much as they used to, because a few years ago, no matter what they dropped, people just bought it up like crazy. Everybody had to have it. No matter, even if you didn't like the property, people were still buying that up.
True.
But now I wonder if people are getting a little bit more selective about what they want to, because the price of things has gotten so outrageously high.
Yeah.
Could people be saying, you know what, do I really need another popcorn bucket that I can't really store anywhere and I can't really display because I don't have any room for it because I have too much other stuff already?
I think the Death Star was $35.
See, so that almost makes Red Guardian's limo.
I know.
And I don't want it at all because of the popcorn bucket. I just thought it'd be great to add to my Marvel shelves.
Oh, the limo?
Yeah, just something cool to add to my Marvel
And
shelves.
I, for whatever reason, like the Death Star, and the Jawa is really cute too. But
and you don't even like Star Wars.
I mean, yeah, I really don't care. I just don't care. I try so hard. I really try. I'm not a Star Wars person.
Although, okay, but let me ask you this. So let's forget it's a Jawa. What if it's Grogu?
That's a whole different thing.
It's still Star Wars.
I was.
And what if there's a button that he makes noise?
Oh, I have to have it.
And it's 50.
I might not be able to do that. So I was just gonna say before you even mentioned it that I do love the baby and like the Mandalorian stuff. I did enjoy that.
Yeah.
But some of it, like, okay, which one of them I fell asleep on? The second, there was 3 that had, this is how much I don't know Star Wars. Please don't send me hate mail. There was 3 movies in a row that starred Kylo Ren.
Yeah, it was the new A Force Awakens.
The one in the middle.
The one in the middle was horrible.
Okay, that's the one I fell asleep on.
That one was just pathetically bad.
Yeah.
And that's the one. So J.J. Abrams was supposed to do all 3 originally. Then J.J. said, I'm not going to do all 3. I'm just going to do the Force Awakens. Then they brought in somebody else to do part 2. And part 2 was horrible. And J.J. has actually asked Star Wars to let him remake part 2 because he didn't like it that much.
I never fall asleep in a movie theater, and I nodded off.
But
boredom.
I'm not a big fan of those 3 movies, period.
Mm-hmm.
I still like the original 3.
I know you do.
And I guess I'm old school with that, but that's what I grew up on. That's what I know. We've talked about. That's why I think the Star Cruiser would have been better had they done it with the classic rather than the newer stuff.
Well, it's weird because the classic stuff has such staying power. Like, you got all these, let's just think about it for a minute from a rational non-Star Wars fan point of view. Okay?
Okay.
Some of these movies are old. Like, and they still, people like worship the whole Star Wars universe like it is brand spanking new.
Right.
Like, this is the hottest new thing in town.
Right.
So that, what I'm saying is like, that's kind of staying power that newer generations, like kids now, know who Darth Vader is.
Right.
Yes, there's the newer things, like you have Grogu and Mandalorian and stuff like that, but they do know the stuff from almost friggin' 50 years ago.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost one of those things like, okay, think of a movie that you watched 30 years ago. And you liked it, but you don't really think about it anymore.
Right. There's plenty of them. There's tons of them like that. Because then when you see it, you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen that. And
I haven't seen a movie in forever. But like when you come to Star Wars movies like that are ancient, it's still relevant.
It is. And And I'm not saying everything they've done with Star Wars is bad, because I love The Mandalorian. However, I love Boba Fett is probably one of my favorite characters of all time in the Star Wars universe. So seeing something about the Mandalorians, I loved it instantly. And when
Did you like the Book of Boba when we watched it?
I did. I like the Book of Boba because it talks about his story after Return of the Jedi. So it continues the story. I honestly, Obi-Wan Kenobi story, that series on Disney Plus was probably my favorite series because
I didn't watch it.
Because you've got to see Obi-Wan hands down is probably above Boba Fett as far as the best character in the Star Wars universe, just because they always talked about Luke Skywalker and Vader. But if you really go back and watch those original movies, it's all about Obi-Wan and what Obi did and how Obi was he was training Vader, and he didn't really want to, but he did it anyway. And then he trains Luke, Vader's son, and he's always involved in everything that ever happened in the first 3 movies.
He kind of runs things, keeps it moving along.
He does. So to be able to see more of his story and what happened in between the first movie and Empire, and then it's just, well, I'm sorry, not even Empire. He died in the first movie, but to see his story before he started taking care of Luke.
Yeah, and I think that's what, between Marvel and Star Wars, what's so confusing is, a character died 18 movies ago, but then here they are in a brand new one, and you're like, how? Oh, that's a different timeline. That's this and that. It's like, come on. And it reminds me of, so back in the day when I would go, like, I was sick as a kid, and I go sit at my grandma's house, and she'd be watching soap operas, and I remember characters that allegedly quote unquote die, and then eventually they come back, and it's like I always tease you, I'm like, nobody's really dead in these movies because there's always a way to bring them back.
Marvel, because there is, like you said, there's multiple multiverses, multiple timelines and everything, so nobody's really dead. In our timeline, that 616 or 616, there's people like Iron Man. He's gone. Tony Stark died.
Yeah, but they're bringing him back again.
But they aren't. They aren't bringing back Tony Stark.
I didn't really want to get into this with you.
I know. But in Star Wars, when they're dead, basically they're dead.
You come back as a ghost.
Yeah, you come back as a ghost, but then you had to be a Jedi to be able to come back as a Force ghost.
Yeah, whatever.
Boba Fett, everybody thought he died. He never died. He lived because he's Boba. But I do. I love Grogu. I love The Mandalorian. So that's Star Wars. That part is great. The movies, they just didn't do it. I did love Rogue One. I know you hated Rogue One.
I hated Rogue One.
I loved Rogue One because it finally brought together how that all came about.
I felt like I wasted 2 hours of my life.
But every Star Wars fan going in there knew what the outcome was. They knew the ending of that movie. It was not going to change. And you're the other one that goes...
Blows.
She gets up. She goes, they all died.
They all died.
We all know that because we knew
couldn't have one. See, and you know what? It's like watching the Titanic. When I saw the Titanic movie, I so badly wanted some sort of happiness at the end, even though we all knew what happened. It's kind of like that. Like, give me a little. Let me walk away with a little bit of happy, even if it's only like 5% happy. And that movie, I was so like, ugh, when we walked out of there, and I'm like, I will never get that time in my life back, and I never want to see it again.
But we know from the first movie in the intro, the scrolling thing says they sacrificed themselves to get the plans of the Death Star to the rebels.
I thought the couple at the end were going to like get on a plane and fly somewhere, and they were going to escape, but no. Nope. I don't want to talk about it. I'm so disgusted still. It's off my Christmas list. Nope. All right. Anyway,
moving on. Okay, so we probably just went on a tangent. We probably lost half our listen. Hopefully you guys stayed though, 'cause that was kind of a fun talk. So Wednesday, Thunderbolts. Thursday, we didn't do anything. Friday, I don't think we really did anything. Did we go to the pool one of those days?
I don't know. We're pretty lame.
We are kind of lame. But Saturday, we did go to the Napoli at Epcot for dinner.
We did.
And it was fantastic.
You ever have one of those dining experiences where, like, especially at Disney, there's always, I never really have a really bad experience at Disney. But for whatever reason, what are you laughing at?
No reason.
What did I have a bad experience at?
Chef Mickey's.
Oh, that was garbage. Sorry.
I never had a bag here. That was garbage.
It was garbage.
That was horrible. Don't go back there.
Well, it was the end of the night, and yeah, there were characters, but that's about all you got.
Yeah.
Nasty food. All right, anyway. So But Via Napoli. So if you guys recall, a couple weeks ago, we were at a beauty event for Via Napoli.
Yes.
And we got to try a bunch of yummy Italian food, which is totally my forte.
Right.
And so Scott loves pizza. And
a little bit.
Oh my God, he could eat every day. So I talked to one of our PR people and see if she could get us in over at Via Napoli for Scott's birthday. And so he's horrible for his birthday. He doesn't want to celebrate ever, but you throw pizza in the mix. That's a whole thing. So we went and had pizza with Andrew and Aiden, and they gave us a nice table.
And thank you to Allied because
Once
you told them it was my birthday, we're like, okay, we're going to take care of it for you guys. We're going to give you guys a great night out.
Yes, and you got to. So for people that don't know, we do a lot of free publicity for these companies, and you know, if they pay us in food, fine.
I have no problem being paid in pizza.
Right. So they really took good care of us, and we had a great table. We had great pizza, salad, bread. The
managers checked on us a couple times.
The managers checked on us. The boys were looking at me like they're treating us super fancy.
And I like how you said it to them, see, your mother is somebody who's important.
Well, because so here's the thing. So I'm in big time denial most times because nobody ever says anything or whatever. But we walk in the restaurant and I walk and check in, Michele Atwood, the Main Street Mouse. And within seconds, this lady comes over to me, shakes my hand and thanks me for coming in. And it's like, oh, okay. And they gave us the royal treatment. And I will tell you what, I appreciated that so much. It was the best family dinner we've had in a very long time. They ended up, so Scott does not like to have anyone sing to for his birthday, but they hooked it up anyway, out of my control, and they brought him a cake.
Yes.
Not just a little scoop of something.
It was the mouse dome cake.
The dome cake.
Moose cake. Oh my gosh, it was so good. I don't even like cake, and I ate the whole quarter that they gave me.
I know. So they
And one disclaimer I want to make before we keep going on, because we're talking about how great. We have never been to Via Napoli and I had great service.
Never.
When we've gone in there on our own and they didn't even know who we were just made a reservation. We went there to eat. The staff is always phenomenal. I every time we've gone there, I can never say once we've had a bad service, bad food.
Never.
Anything in the years we've been going there.
No, and it's been one of our staples. Like we don't go often, but when we do want to sit down, that's always like top of the list. And I wrote something up about it. Was it yesterday? I think I put it out.
So yeah, last night it went out.
So here's what I like, and we've talked about this before. But walk-up food is expensive, and if you can go get that big pizza, family of 4, you can get ice water or Coke or whatever. Everybody split pizza, and by the time you would go to another walk-up, it'd probably be the same amount, if not more.
It'd be close depending on what you got. But honestly, if you're going to spend, say, $17 average a person, if they get a meal at any of the walk-ups with a drink, you're looking at $17, $18 easily per person.
Right.
So you're looking, let's just round it up, say $20 a person. So you're looking at $80.
Right.
So the big half-meter pizza, which is
50,
huge,
isn't it?
It's $50, like $2 if you just get cheese, $57 if you got pepperoni on it, which is not bad. The pizza's excellent. You won't find a walk-up food that has quality that good.
No.
And if you all get, like you said, water, or if you get a Coke or whatever, and with tip, but then if you're an annual pass holder, you get a discount where you don't get that at the walk-up. But the service level, you get to go and sit in a comfortable restaurant in air conditioning for 45 minutes or whatever, and take a break from your busy day out in the hot sun at Disney. I personally think it's a better option. And if you're eating food that big, you might not eat again. I mean, you could have that big meal and you might get a snack later, where if you go to a walk-up, depending on what time, you might have a walk-up at lunch. Oh, you know what? I'm hungry again. Then you're eating another walk-up later on in the day. But if you eat something like that, something that's big and filling, you might not eat at another restaurant. You might get a snack later, but you might not eat a full restaurant.
Right, because our reservation was at 5, and I didn't eat anything else the rest of the night.
No,
I was so full. And like I said in my write-up, it is hard to get good pizza here in Florida. And we've talked about this last week. I'm not going to rehash it as far as what they do with the pizza, but the food is really good. But we had like the best experience. I mean, I just love that place so much. And I know that our sons love it. So it was kind of just nice, the four of us having family dinner at a place that we love so much, you know, with excellent service. I mean, it's not my birthday and I'm excited.
Right.
Like, I thought it was great.
No, it was fantastic. I was so thankful for the whole event. I mean, because it brought everything together. And like she said, it was just great just to have our downtime, to sit there, enjoy our dinner, talk, chit chat, whatever we were going to do. But then the staff just made it so much better. Like she said, I don't like going to a restaurant and having sing to me because I just don't like attention on me like that. And I was watching how they were doing it with other people, and they'd bring them all like a little tiny cupcake with a candle, and they'd sing, and it takes 20 seconds. I'm like, okay, if that's all they do, I can handle it. Oh, no. They walk up, they put this full-size cake on the table, like 6 of the staff get behind me, and they're singing the full Italian version of Happy Birthday to me.
Yeah, it was a bit longer, and it was just great. His face was all red, and it was perfect.
I think there's pictures in the blog, if not the video of it.
Yeah.
Somewhere, I think.
But yeah, I can't say enough good things. Be a Napoli when you're at Epcot. Do that because you will be so glad that you did, and the food's excellent.
It is. You will not be disappointed. If you like pizza, you just like Italian food, actually, because they do have a full Italian menu as well.
Yeah, so Aiden didn't want the pizza. He got manicotti.
Yes.
And a cheese manicotti. And it was huge.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was enough for 2 people to split.
And the little booger ate the whole thing.
He really did.
He's got no body fat. He ate that whole thing. So yeah, they do have other choices.
And then he ate a piece of pizza.
He did. And some cake.
And some cake.
I don't know where he puts it.
And he had salad and bread before all that.
But yeah, definitely, if you're looking for a good place to eat, hit up the Italy Pavilion. Definitely. It's my favorite.
Definitely. And I thank you for making the arrangements with Allied. I think Allied, our reps over there are fantastic. The staff over there, though, like I said, I cannot say good things about the staff. They honestly, I can say that was probably one of the best birthday dinners I've had.
Oh, good.
So it was very.
And you didn't want me to do it at first, aren't you glad?
Yes.
All right. It's recorded now.
But I record the recording. Or
You're gonna edit it out.
Edit it out. I never said any of that. Okay. Just kidding. Okay. Anyway, so that was our week in review. Yesterday, like you said, was May the 4th. On Sunday, we didn't do anything. We stayed home. Aiden didn't feel good, so we didn't do anything. We just kind of stayed home to make sure he was okay throughout the day. I didn't even think we watched any Star Wars yesterday.
No.
I didn't even put anything on.
No,
I watched Marvel.
You did watch Marvel yesterday. I don't remember what I did. I just know that I was babying my child most of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I'm still that mom. Like when my kids are sick, I will stay home with you, and I will make sure you're okay. And it's so cute because he's the same height as me, and when he's sick, he still comes and practically sits on my lap and needs his mama. So we stayed home. They're painting our house right now, so that's another situation.
Yeah, so we're getting our house painted because our HOA enforces it every couple of years to get your house painted. So it's being painted. It's still being painted actually right now.
Actually, there's somebody outside right now.
Yeah, he's right outside our window actually painting.
But and we, I guess because we have so much coming up, it's like I hate sitting home, but I know
you need the downtime right now.
It's coming.
And speaking of that, I was going to go through our upcoming media events we have coming, just to kind of give you as a heads up and kind of as a reminder. So actually this week, though, on Wednesday, we have a media event where me and you are going to Enzo's Hideaway.
Yes, through Allied also.
Through Allied, they're the ones who had us out at Napoli, but they're having a media event at Enzo's Hideaway. They're invited Michele and I to come out there for dinner.
Yeah, it's not even really an event. They just invited us for a media dining to go over the food, and of course, I'll do a write-up for it. So we're having more Italian food
this week. More Italian food. But I know they have also some American food. So
they do, but I'll be having
I know Italian. You will be. I don't know what I'll have. I'll have to look at the menu once we get there because it's a new menu, I believe. It's new menu items.
There's some new menu items.
Yep. So that will be on Wednesday. So watch social media, and I'm sure that you'll do a write-up afterwards. But so stay close to that. And then, as we said earlier in the show, next Tuesday, we are flying to Disneyland. Mm-hmm. We're off the ground running as soon as we land. As soon as we get to the Disneyland property, we are going to be getting checked into our hotel, get all that, and then we're going to be hitting the parks right away for media events and media things going on right from the get.
Yeah, so we're getting up super early in the morning, going to the airport, and it's going to be go, 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 go until we get home.
And we're not going to tell you guys anything because we're not supposed to tell anybody some of the events that we've been told we might get to do.
Oh, yeah, you can't.
But it's going to be, if all that happens is that they've told us, oh my gosh, it's going to be awesome.
So you guys are going to definitely want to follow our social media. I know everybody's on Facebook, but we do have Instagram. My stories are always updated. TikTok, X.
We'll have YouTube video. Probably once we get back, we'll get all the YouTube videos.
Yeah. So I'm going to do my very best to throw as much out there as I can.
Yeah, there'll be a lot. So just stay tuned. And we're there on the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We leave Thursday late at night, and we get home bright and early Friday morning. I think at like 5 a.m. we land.
And then we have a media
event
on Saturday.
And we have a media event on Saturday. So Michael James Scott, who everybody knows as the genie from Aladdin on Broadway, has a show that's coming to Dr. Phillips Center called A Dream is a Wish. And I think it's a show he actually wrote. So we were invited to come out and see that performance of that show. So we'll be going there on that Saturday night, the 17th, to see that. Then 2 days after that, we have the Epic Universe media event starting on the 19th. So we have that, and that's going to be, the 19th is not really in the parks. It's more of just a kind of getting together, kind of a celebration of Epic. And then we're going to be busy 20, 21st, and 22nd, I believe, in the parks, seeing everything that they have new, recording it, videos, photos. So there'll be tons of information coming out on that. Then we're done with that on the 22nd. Then the 25th is Aiden's birthday.
Yep.
So a couple days later. The 26th is Memorial Day, and we'll be going to a friend's house for a pool party and such as Memorial Day. However, then we have a media event starting that evening at the studios for the new...
Just found that out
for the new Villains and Little Mermaid show. And then also on the 27th will be a media event at the Hollywood Studios for those things as well, correct?
Yes. And then God knows what else will pop up after that. It's just so busy.
And a week later, we have Andrew's birthday.
Yeah.
And then I'm sleeping for 2 weeks.
Well, see, I love to be busy, but this is a whole lot of busy. It's exhausting type of things. I mean, covering media events like from morning till night is exhausting because they have us on a schedule and you got to go, go here, go there, make sure, it's just a lot. And I know a lot of people don't understand how much it is, but it's going to be exhausting. But I'm really looking forward. I'm up for the challenge to make sure we do a good job with all of it.
Yeah, we will. There is no doubt in my mind we will not do anything bad. It will be perfect the way we'll pull it off.
Right.
So we will do great.
We do a good job.
So guys, please stay plugged into all our social medias and the site for all the information. I don't know if we'll do a lot of site posting, to be honest with you, because we're going to be so busy with social media.
It might be social media for the most part, unless I type when I get back to the room, but I might be too tired to do that.
Yeah, because we might be because we already know the next morning we have to get up early for the 14th.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot, but just like we keep saying, please stay tuned to social media. We will do a show next Monday. Just kind of as a reminder to let you guys know what we're doing this week and such. And then we'll be leaving the next morning.
That's right.
We'll probably do the show and then we'll go right to bed. Try to get a few hours of sleep before we hit the airport.
Probably so.
So I'm just going to run through the news stories from the last week pretty quickly here.
Okay.
And then if you want to comment on any of them, and I do have a couple of them on here, I'm going to ask you why they're on here because I don't understand. Or at least one of them for sure. I don't know why it's here. So the first one that came out was Fragrances with Scentsy at Epcot's Flower and Garden Festival. So I know that's the whole area, kind of in the midway.
Butterflies.
Yeah, the butterflies and stuff before you get to Future World, or between Future World and World Showcase on that bridge there, that causeway. There's Fragrances, so you can go smell some of the Scentsy stuff, and they also sell the Scentsy, I think. Some of
a couple things, but you can buy all the Scentsy stuff online, and I do have a Scentsy store. So if you go to our website, there's a link.
There's a link on the right sidebar. You'll see, I think it's the Cinderella carriage I have there right now. So if you click on that, that'll take you to your Scentsy order page, and they can purchase anything they want right from there, and then they get shipped directly to them.
That's right, because since Scentsy is partnered with Disney for a lot of these things. So, if you want some of the fragrances at the Flower and Garden Festival, click there because they're there.
Or if you can't get there, this is a great way to bring the fragrances home with you.
That's right.
Anyway, then Mother's Day dining options at Disney and beyond. I know that's one that usually comes out every year, just showing the different options available for to take mom out on Sunday the 11th.
Yes, there was some Disney Springs options, and then there was a couple of restaurants in the area too.
Right.
That's what Beyond was.
And this, again, as always, this will all be in the show notes of this show, and then you can click on the link, and that'll take you right to the site to read more about it. This is one I didn't understand why it was on our site, but I'm sure you have a reasoning. 50 years of the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I'm so glad you asked.
Well, that's why I asked, because I didn't know about it.
Right. So
I saw the images in the back end of our site, and I'm like,
you're like, why?
why? I mean, Disney owns so many movie studios. They
That's
probably
right.
own it now.
I got that press release from Disney PR.
Okay.
So yeah, Disney is in cahoots with all that now. So that's why I put it out, because it came from Disney Public Relations.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
yeah.
I figured it was something like that because I know they own so many studios, especially when they acquired Fox. They got a whole
Oh my God, Disney owns everything. So yeah, that's why. And
Okay.
I got the press release, so I kind of had to put it out.
Gotcha. Understand. No, I was just curious about. I figured that's what it was, but I wanted to ask you on the air. So, last week, a great press release came out for Make-A-Wish Foundation that Disney hosted a princess ball for Make-A-Wish families.
Yeah, that was very nice.
And it was very nice. So they took a lot of the different princesses and they brought them and they did photos and they did the kids up in the makeup.
The royal treatment.
The royal treatment. And it was
Yeah.
dresses, the hair, the whole Kit Kat and caboodle. And it was just great to see something like that. So good for Disney doing something.
Yeah,
awesome.
very nice,
That
very
was
nice.
very awesome. Another thing that came out was the new Powerline concert experience for a Goofy movie, which is some kind of virtual concert from the movie.
Yeah, you'll have to post the link so people can go see what it's all about.
Yeah, you have to check it out. So definitely check that out because our friends Bill and Jason are part of the Goofy movie.
That's right.
So Typhoon Lagoon did reopen this week at Walt Disney World. I know a lot of people have been waiting on that, so it is open now. And don't forget, if you are coming down to Walt Disney World to stay, on your check-in day at a resort, you can go to either one of the water parks. It's included in your room reservation.
Yep.
Automatically. So
Little
you can
perk
go to
right there.
either of the water parks on your check-in day only, but it is a great perk to have.
Yeah.
Celebrate Mother's Day at the Disney Springs. So there was another article
Yep,
that came out. More of that stuff. It
Seems
comes
like
from
Disney Springs is a place to be for Mother's Day.
It really is. Couple articles I did put out this week. So at Disneyland Resort for the 70th celebration, they're debuting 70 plus new food items
Oh my gosh.
available for the thing. So it's treats, it's actually sit down food, it's drinks, it's a crazy how many things are coming out, and there's a totally full food guide that goes through everything. But there's so much stuff I want to try over there.
I better make a list because
I better make a list and get a
always
loan.
forget.
I'm gonna have to get a loan on or
Oh my
something.
God.
I'm gonna have to sell our car before we leave. So I better
Sell
see
our
if we can buy
card for food.
Then we'll have to figure out how to get back with all the, because I'll be taking up 2 seats on the plane on the way back. Also, I put out 70th anniversary bucket sippers and more at Disneyland Resort that are coming out, which they have a really cool, it's the classic Mickey in the tuxedo jacket and popcorn bucket, which I don't usually like popcorn buckets, but that one just looks really cool to me.
Because with the 70th, they're going to have all kinds of new souvenirs to take home.
And the snowman sipper, the abominable snowman from the Matterhorn, they have a sipper of him. So I think that's really cool too. Not saying I'm gonna buy either of them, just really cool to.
And they also have the cups,
Yes, they do have the different cups.
like the tin ones,
Yes. Also, they put out some of the menus for the Disneyland hotels and the downtown Disney district out there of the menu items they're going to have during the 70th. So special things that are just going to be around for the 70th celebration at the hotels as well as the downtown Disney district. The next thing was Michele's honest review, Marvel Thunderbolts. She talked about that earlier, but if you click on the link, you can read her full review. And I encourage you to go read it if you're thinking about going to see the movie, because it might give you might help you make the decision if you're going to go or not. But I think it's a great review, so you want to go check that out.
Thanks.
Cool Kid Summer at Disney World. We put that out. But what it's about, because a lot of people, what is it? There's going to be half off tickets for kids, I think 3 to 9, which is fantastic.
Room discounts.
Room discounts.
There's going to be different activities like Goofy.
DJ party, yeah.
Goofy is taking over Communicore Hall to do something extra. Stitch is taking over like Tomorrowland,
Right.
Magic Kingdom, Storybook Circus. But so I did a segment for Fox News last week about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you guys the same thing I told the broadcast news is there's all kinds of, fine print. Like have to stay this amount of days or have to stay between this date and this date. Right. So you're going to want to click on the link to find all the fine print for each offering because it's all different. Yeah. That's the thing. And it's a lot to just remember.
It's very confusing if you don't understand it all. So my recommendation, if you do want to book it, contact MEI Moss Fan Travel, our official travel sponsor. They know all the details, and they will.
And they can figure all that out for you because I was confused reading it.
Yeah, so let them help you figure it out. It doesn't cost you anything to use their services. Same price if you were to book it or they book it, but they will figure it all out and get you the best deal they possibly can.
Yes, and there's a link on our site for that too.
There is. New Star Wars Day merch you won't want to miss. So we did put this out last week before May the 4th. It was about the new Star Wars merchandise that Disney has to offer that went along with that. Disney Cruise Line begins magic to Make-A-Wish families for a week of wishes. So April was the month of wishes, or week of wishes was the end of April, I think is what it was. And Disney Cruise Line had hosted some of the Make-A-Wish families.
Kind of like what they did with the princess stuff. They extended like magical experiences on the cruise.
Exactly. So this was just a great article to read about some of the things that Disney Cruise Line did with the families. Next was, as we were talking about Thunderbolts, Red Guardian. He's going to be appearing in Avengers Campus at California Adventure. So I will make sure I'm going to get a picture with him while we are out there, just because I think he's fantastic.
And you love Avengers Campus.
I do. I could stay there for 2 straight days and never leave that land. So
we know where he'll be.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to find me, just look there first. Savannah Bananas baseball team is coming to Disneyland May 28th.
We got a lot of Disneyland news.
We do have a lot of Disney, but with the 70th, I'm not surprised. There's so much going on. So if you don't know who the Savannah Bananas baseball team is, they're basically the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
Oh my gosh, there's this whole them, and there's some other teams that play each other, and it's like they dance, they lip sync.
There's a guy on stilts.
There's a guy on stilts. Yeah, I recently came across them, and I think they're fantastic. So they will be at Disneyland.
Yes, celebrating Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith. That's because we're at the anniversary of Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith, I believe, aren't we?
I think so.
Is it? Yeah. So that's this was.
You're asking me. I'm not the Star Wars person.
This was just about that. And then via Napoli, your review of the restaurant is the last Disney news and why it's our favorite. So you can read all about that review. And again, if you're ever at Epcot and looking for a place to eat, try via Napoli. They do sometimes have walk-ups available, so try to get in there. Just a couple of quick things I wanted to mention about Universal. Last week we did mention a little bit, but we didn't have the link yet. But Jackie, one of our staff and friends, wrote an article about her family's experience at Epic Universe. So I did put that link in here so you guys can click on that and read all about her reviews and tips about the parks. Additional opportunities also have been out for previewing Universal's Epic Universe, where all the previews before were for pass holders. Now they're allowing anybody who wants to make a reservation to go. Is that correct?
It is,
so
which I don't get because, like, why even have a grand opening if people can go now?
If anybody can go now.
Yeah, whatever.
But it is what
do I know, right? I'm not in charge.
Exactly. I'm not in charge. So that's all the news for last week. Again, this will all be in the show notes. You can click on any of the links and read the full article to get more information about it. I do have a question for you this week, and it's again from our friend Hannah.
Okay. Hi, Hannah.
Last week, she loved how you answered the question.
Aww.
She had. She wrote me back just to thank you, and that your answer was perfect.
Oh, I love that.
So her question this week, though, what can I do to get my Disney fix when I'm not there? We only go about once a year, and it is all I think about the rest of the year. So how can she get that Disney fix without being at Disney? Now, this is something you used to always talk about because when we lived in Michigan, you only got that fix once a year or once every other year to actually go to Disney. So how did you get through that time when you weren't down here?
Okay, well, it might be a little different now because when we lived in Michigan, the Disney store was still around.
Right.
So I know my big thing would be going to the Disney store because there was that nice one out at Great Lakes Crossing, Michigan. So we'd go to the Disney store, make sure any Disney movie that was coming out, we would go see it, watch Disney movies at home. When I would shop, for the kids or whatever, I'd be shopping Disney stuff. I just even if we didn't go to the movies, we'd watch the stuff at home.
Right. And now with Disney Plus, it's even easier.
Much easier.
Yeah, you can always find whatever you need to on Disney Plus. I mean, because they have a lot of the classic movies, but they have a lot of the newer things that have come out. So that's always a way to kind of get your Disney fix.
Yeah, it just seems so much simpler back then because, let's hop in the store, let's go to the Disney store. And a Disney store, of course, had all the good merchandise. The one we used to go to would get park merchandise sometimes. And they had movies and music playing in the store. I miss all that.
I miss the old stores that were at the normal. They weren't like at the outlet type malls, but they were at the old ones where they'd have the props all over.
And the big hill of stuffed animals.
Yes,
and
I loved all that because that's what we used to do. So when I was Vinylmation collecting in Michigan,
yeah,
we'd go to the one in Toledo because they got to know me down there, and they would actually save me boxes and such.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just really would any way I could squeeze Disney in somehow, I did.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh. So I would even like go online and quote unquote plan trips or just
to think about
it or, price it out or just to see what's out there, just to keep Disney at the forefront. But yeah, it was always movies. It was always shopping. Those were my biggest ones.
I know one thing that I do it now, and we live here, but I think would have been great back when we lived in Michigan is with Disney Plus, and you can see like the Imagineering story and things like that.
Yes.
Those are just absolutely fascinating because they just draw you into the magic and see a lot how things were created. And
yeah, and you know what I love about that is, not to get off on another subject, but when you watch things like on Disney Plus that are the historical stuff, like it's, the Imagineering story or whatever else they have, to me, that puts you back in touch with the heart of Disney.
Right.
Because, okay, so I know we're like at time, but maybe I'll talk about this on my podcast. But there's a whole I'm horrified, I guess, because there is so much, especially right now in the past couple weeks, hatred towards Disney adults and what Disney has quote unquote done to the company, and a whole grouping of people that are not renewing their annual passes and just disgruntled about things closing, about what they're there's a whole lot of complaining.
Right.
And it's gotten kind of nasty.
I'm sure.
And to me, I don't care about any of that stuff. Like, I, as a Disney person at heart, I think about all the good things that Disney has done over the years. And do I love everything they do now? No. But if you watch those type of things, the Imagineering story and I know they have other stuff on there too.
Oh, there's so much on there. So much of
But I love Behind the Attraction.
Yes.
That's a good one.
That's a great one.
To me, that's my little reminder, like your little tap on the shoulder of what made you love Disney in the first place.
That's excellent to say it that way. And I think a lot of problem with is that the fans nowadays, they don't know a lot about the history. They don't know Walt said, we have to keep growing. We have to keep changing. These parks cannot become stale.
Right.
And that's part of why things go away and new things come in. Now there's certain attractions which you feel like, okay, they can't touch this. They can't do that. But unless the parks are always evolving, they're not going to attract new fans into the Disney bubble because eventually they'd get boring and people are like, I went there when I was 6. I don't care anymore.
See, but then there's me that would go anyway.
You would, but you're a seasoned and you know the history and you know all that stuff. And sadly, I think some of the people who are disgruntled and stuff may not know all the back stuff that
or they don't
know.
like change. Now, mind you, I am the queen of not liking change.
You hate change.
I hate change. But
what do I always tell you, though? Change isn't always a bad thing. Change
it's not. It just makes me uncomfortable. So there's a lot of people, though, that are worse than me when it comes to change at Disney. Like, in my opinion, Disney's going to do what Disney's going to do. It doesn't matter if you have a petition. Right. It doesn't matter if you have 200 people over on X that are saying, we hate this idea.
No, because the Disney powers that be have been thinking about this a lot longer than when they announced it. By the time they've announced it, there's so many wheels in motion.
Yeah, we don't find out what's going on until it's already set in stone.
Right. And another thing you might want to do, Hannah, too, another way to keep Disney, and I don't know if you have access to this, but so Sirius Radio. Last week I was clicking through the stations and I came across the Disney station.
Yep.
And I was kind of having a down day and they were playing Happily Ever After, the song for Happily Ever After. And it's just and as we said a few weeks ago, that fireworks show it gives me that push I need to keep coming up with new ideas and new things to do. And hearing the song the other day was just perfect timing that it happened to play while I was driving.
I forgot about the Disney station on the radio.
And then Amazon Alexa, I believe there is Disney stuff on there you can do because I know they partnered with Disney in the resorts and such.
Yes.
So there is something on Amazon Alexa, and I apologize, I don't know, but I know they do like Disney trivia.
I was going to say Disney trivia, right?
There's all kinds of stuff in there. So little things like that can really make for.
Oh my gosh, I used to buy the boys like Mickey Mouse coloring books.
Oh yeah.
Or, just to keep
At
it.
the dollar store you could.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, you and it doesn't have to cost a lot. Like, for example, I'm taking this question way too far, but like Five Below right now. Five Below has a ton of Disney stuff.
So much Disney.
And a lot of it's stitched because of the new movie.
Makes sense.
But I was just talking about this with Aiden the other day. How when the boys were little, I would every summer I would buy them a little kiddie pool, and I buy them like sidewalk chalk and bubbles and different things to play with in the pool.
Right.
And you could totally buy a lot of Disney themed toys for summer.
Mm-hmm.
They have outdoor things, they have pool floaties, they have, like little games and things like that. And I miss that because I used to love summertime with the boys and seeing all the fun stuff they have now that's Disney themed, like water guns and
Five Below's got some great stuff though. They've really got a great deal going with Disney right now with some of the stuff they're bringing.
They got some great stuff. Then they have Disney T-shirts for kids and adults.
Mm-hmm.
They have all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I would hit up Five Below, because you can get yourself some Disney stuff for the house and for and not spend a lot of money.
Or another thing you could do too, and I just thought of this as you were talking, is you could actually do a movie night of a Disney movie, and you get popcorn and go get candy or whatever, and just set it up in the house and have like whatever Disney movie's your favorite or one you haven't seen maybe, and you want to watch it for the first time together. I mean, there's all kinds of little things you can do to kind of get that magic at home.
And that's the kind of stuff we used to do. We would just like look for it.
So there you go, Hannah. That's a lot. I know it's a lot more than you probably bartered.
I know.
Getting
I feel
from
like
us.
we're always like throwing out way more of an answer.
But hopefully some of that you're interested in, maybe some of that, maybe stuff you never thought of, and hopefully it works out for you. So thank you so much for your question. We appreciate it.
You.
And again, if anybody else wants to ask questions for Michele, you can email me, scott@themainstreetmouse.com, and I will ask her on there. And like I've said, I do not give these to Michele ahead of time.
I have no idea what he's going to tell me.
No, I have time to think about it, to give my insight, my input on it, but Michele has no idea what the question is.
He gets the spoiler. He gets the heads up. I do not. So he likes me to be able to have to answer right off the top of my head. So
because I think you get the best answer that way. Because if you overthink it, you might miss some points that you do.
Me overthink?
I know you never do that.
All right.
So again, yeah, if you have a question for Michele, you can email me, scott@themainstreetmouse.com. I will ask it. Also, if you have any questions or want comments or anything about Michele's show, Daydream Believing Podcast, which comes out on Thursdays at 7, you can email her at michele@themainstreetmouse.com, and she will either answer your question on air, she might mention your comments, or whatever you email her about.
Yeah, so show suggestions, whatever. Yes.
And I will say it now, next Thursday, she will not have a show. So this coming Thursday, you will have a show.
Yeah.
But the following Thursday, we will be flying that evening. So you probably won't have a show that week.
Probably not.
So you will have to skip next
Sorry about
next
that.
Thursday. But this Thursday, it will be out. So 3 days from now, you will have a show out.
And then when I do come back, I'm going to have all kinds of stuff to talk about.
All kinds of stuff. So that Monday after we get back is going to be all kinds of information.
Yes.
Because that's the day before we go to Epic, too.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
I think. Or maybe that's the first night. I don't know. We're going to have to look at the calendar and figure out.
I don't even know.
It's too much.
I don't know.
But quickly, I just want to mention our sponsors. I already mentioned them once, but I'm mentioning again, MEI Mouse Fan Travel. They will help you guys plan the perfect trip to Disneyland, Disney World, Disney Cruise Line, or anything else, Royal Caribbean. If you want to go to Epic Universe and stay there, they can help you with any of those reservations and any of that trip planning. So reach out to them. You can see their links all over our site. Click any of those banners. It will take you to their website, fill out the small form, and one of their travel advisors will get back to you. Just remember, by using their services, you're supporting the Main Street Mouse, and we greatly appreciate that. Also, Kingdom Strollers can help you with your stroller or scooter rental while you're here in the Central Florida area. They will deliver and pick up the equipment that you rent from them, and just let them know you heard about them from the Main Street Mouse. You can reach them at kingdomstrollers.com, and their link is also on our website. I'm all done talking, so I'm going to let Michele close out the show. Thanks, guys.
Okay, and if you are looking for Disney outfits for the parks, lostprincessapparel.com. There's a new pre-order out right now for new skirts, that have all kinds of prints and such themes that we haven't done before. So check that out. And that also helps us out very much. So lostprincessapparel.com. If you have your fill of Disney clothes, telling friends about Lost Princess Apparel is also helpful and appreciated. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for all the support. We could not do this without you. And we hope you have a wonderful, fantastic, magical week ahead. And we'll see you real soon.
Our trip around the Magic Kingdom is almost complete. I can't thank you enough for spending part of your day with me. And I hope you've enjoyed your journey as much as I've appreciated being a part of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please gather your belongings, watch your head and step as you exit, and take small children by the hand.
On behalf of our entire flight crew, thanks for soaring with us.
Now I will raise the safety bar, and a ghost will follow you home.